that she was English, and she decided my name, and she was very fond of the royalties.
Oh,
Yeah. So she was determined to get that through. That she was the one that decided what my name was supposed to be. So I stick with that. But I changed my last name, Ezhno.
yes.
Not Norwegian at all. It is actually
Sounds,
Indian.
it's Indian. It sounds Egyptian or something.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
Esno.
it's roots from.
Esno and Esme is that like a middle name? Esme.
It's a middle name, and it means the beloved or
Beloved.
love. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook now, but let me go in and share it to the network, and then we'll roll the show out here in just a second.
Yeah.
And Ferrer, how do you pronounce that? Ferrer?
Yeah.
Ferrer. Yeah. That's what I was referring to. That seems to be, I don't know, like French or Spanish or something.
It's French.
French, okay. See,
yeah.
I'm getting better at this. All right, let's see here. Yeah, so you created your last name.
Yeah,
Ezhno.
I created my last name.
Oh, that's cool.
when I was in a time of my life where I really started to go deep into self-realization, and I felt for unplug the patriarchy, and then also my father's name, because I never felt that I had any. It didn't represent me, and it's also, as you know, that it's very common that children and girls inherit the father's last name. Yeah, so I just decided that that's not me. I want my own name.
So you're just a rebel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We was talking about that actually this afternoon, that I've been a rebel, and that's what I said a little bit about in the first interview we had, that I went from being a rebel to become a real diva.
Yeah. I think a lot of light workers are rebels. You know, even the
that's a part.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, even the prim and proper ones, they're rebels too. So
absolutely.
I just want to correct it because, like I said, we were talking about it last night. But you're actually born and raised in Norway.
Yeah, okay. I was born, as I told last time, in this small place in the middle of Norway. And I lived there till I was 16 years old. Then I chose to move away from home after 16 years with severe abuse and alcoholic. It was this. What can I say? This family constellation. Is that what you say? And that I, as a rebel, needed to later be pushed really into my own self-realization, my own awakening fully.
Yeah, makes total sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
So, what's that?
Yeah, it did that to me also when I started to look deeper into this family and the experience of growing up with that severe abuse.
Yeah, all makes perfect sense now, though, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm not a victim. I never felt being a victim either. I knew that there was so much more to this and a much larger picture to the whole thing. As I said before, I was born open and knowing, and I never was able to shut down. That was the pain that I never forgot. I remember how it was to come into this life, how it was to be going from, what can I say, from eternity, from heaven, from having actually my own kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah, and to enter, I remember how it was to, in a way, the best way I can explain it was like I was falling falling down and then turning in a way backwards into this physical realm. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember, and I was never able to shut down. I was never able to forget fully, but at the same time, you are so seduced, if that is the right word, by being in a physical body,
Right.
being in a human body, and be in this the environment and the collective consciousness, the concepts, the belief systems. So it was, for me, it was very difficult to have the knowledge, remember everything, and see. As I have always been extremely sensitive, I can see and feel what other people are thinking and feeling. I am an empath. As I said, I'm a medium. So it was very difficult sometimes, very challenging to have these abilities and remember, as I said, and at the same time be so feel that they're so painful at the same time and be here.
So okay, so you're very fiery.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a compliment. Yeah, that's a compliment. So I mean, you're very fiery. Have you always been that fiery? Or are you coming out now?
No, I've always been that fiery, always. So that was the part of, again, of being a rebel. I I was never able to shut down. I always said what I meant. I was always, in a way, provoked by people's falseness.
Yeah.
Their lies, their pretending things. Always, it really, and this fire in me always reacted, what can I say, very sometimes to the extreme, if I can say it like that.
Yeah.
But what is happening this last years, and maybe after I had the cancer, was that there was no longer I was told that I no longer could hold back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the words that are coming, it's more clear, it's more powerful. As I said before, the cancer changed absolutely everything. There was things that I saw before, that I felt before, because of my psychic abilities or my sensitivity, and I could hold back because I, in a way, doubted sometimes what I saw about people or what will happen in the world.
Yeah.
But after cancer, I was told that I was no longer here to doubt, to hold back.
Yeah.
It was very important that I, in a way, not was ashamed of being, because women has also been told to be ashamed of being powerful in our words.
Yeah.
To go against the patriarchy, we're told to be nice, to not get people upset, not make them feel bad in our company and all these things. And it always gave me, like, as I wrote to you, that a kind of feeling that ants was crawling under my skin.
Yeah. I know you talked about it last time. You've been married. You had relationships. You've also had an evolution that you've gone through and blossoming, finding your power as a divine feminine.
Yeah. Yeah.
How deep do you think the wound is between the masculine and the feminine? Do you think we've made progress? And what do you think the future looks like for that relationship?
The future, I will start with that, looks so beautiful. It really does. And that's because we are not only waking up to the truth of who we are or becoming aware of it, clear of it, but we are also integrating the divine feminine that also wakes up, if I can say it like that, wakes up the power of both the divine feminine and also the divine masculine. Both these things has been suppressed.
Yeah.
We have been extremely afraid of love, of loving each other, loving the person we are together with. We have been extremly afraid. We protect ourselves more than we are aware of. So when you say how profound, how deep has this wound been in us, both men and women, they have been huge.
Yeah.
Because we have been so afraid, and there's so many reasons for it, because we all over time has been programmed to not feel. We have been programmed to be in our mind, that the mind, the intellect is more powerful and more important than feelings, being sensitive, being vulnerable, has all been like belong to women in a way. And women have been, because we have been so sensitive, because we have been this feeling everything in a way.
Right.
We have also then been told that we are unstable, we are irresponsible, we cannot be trusted, let's say, in important things in the world. That has been in a way belonged to men. And men have also been programmed to actually fear women, fear our, what can I say, our wild nature.
That's too bad.
Yeah, but it's been a part of the enormous, beautiful evolution that we needed. Humanity needed this era of patriarchy to see what we are capable of create when we are not, when we are believing that we are separated from God, from source, from love. We needed to experience all the contrasts, and that is what we have in a way done. We have experienced everything. That's why this massive awakening is happening.
Yeah.
And we see it all over the world. We see how grotesque, in a way, many things are. We see, because I call this era also the era of transparency.
Yeah.
Everything is coming up to be visible. We cannot hide anything anymore. We cannot hide anything in a relationship, and we cannot hide anything in the world when it comes to the financial world, to war, to the false power. Everything is coming up. We see people, then men, but also women, that have been and are are the world leaders. There's so much also that is coming up, because we all need to become fully aware of that we have said yes to experience everything, all contrasts, to evolve and to see what we are capable of doing.
Yeah.
There's also another thing that I wanted to say in this.
Go ahead.
And that is that from the Atlantean era, we have created the same, in a way, over and over again, because that era was when we started to, what can I say, develop the mind,
Develop the mind.
Yeah, instead of
Expanding the heart.
yes, and that's what we are doing now, and that's why we are leaving the mind, if I can say it like that. Nothing works anymore. We cannot use the old way to create solutions. We yeah, it stands still. Yeah, but sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so we're doing the reverse. You're saying in Atlantis is when we began to overemphasize the mind and de-emphasize the heart, and then now we're in a situation where we're reversing that. We're moving into the heart, letting go of the mind individually, collectively.
Yeah, and that's also what we see now, because I see also more and more people on online, on Facebook, and also people that are connecting with me. I see more and more that people can all, what can I say? They don't find oh sorry, they don't find the old spirituality doesn't appeal to them anymore. The non-duality doesn't appeal anymore, because we are so open up to feel everything again, and that is also the only way that we can live in the new world, is that we have to feel again. We have to be open again, and love again, like we have never done before.
And it's
Does it make sense?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love what you said about the old spirituality.
Yeah, it's dying.
Like the new age, even that new age thing, or even to a degree, some of what we've seen the last few years. To me, a big part of it is, I'd like to hear your thoughts. To me, really, it all begins and ends with the acceptance within ourselves of this divine, like you said, the wild woman, the divine wild feminine in all of us that was suppressed, in all of us. Do you see evidence? And I'm talking about not on social media, I'm talking about in relationships, real life. Do you see evidence that men are accepting this expanded woman that's coming out into the world now?
Yeah, I actually do. I see it in private life. I see it when it comes to men that I talk to over it can be when we come together with friends, or I have also men that calls me that also wants to make sessions with me, that also are so much more. It's in a way, it feels like if this man has come to a point where they have experienced that being with a woman that actually are not afraid of loving herself anymore, but really are standing in loving herself, they can also feel that they can relax more. And I strongly believe and know that when women do that, when we choose to not be victims anymore, when we choose, I know I'm dropping a bomb again here when I'm saying that there's this campaign, we're seeing this Me Too campaign.
Yeah.
And of course, we are in this era of transparency. It's so important that this is also being put out there in public, that women are talking about and telling about all this, that what they have experienced, and men has also experienced this through women. So yeah, it's important, but we as women need to, in a way, allow ourselves to first of all, we need to allow ourselves to, as I said, talk about it, but we need to let these feelings go. We need to heal, not to heal because we have been broken, but to heal. It's the most healthy thing we can do is to, and the only medicine, the only true medicine, I want to say, is actually self-realization. We need to go further and understand that, okay, what was done to me was a part of a bigger picture.
Right.
That is when we're taking our power back, if I can say it like that.
Right.
And when we do that, we also start to let go of the victim and the perpetrator, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So that is when we really start to understand, because I wanted to talk about what I experienced in my own relationships with my ex-husbands, and including my dad.
Yes.
I had to come to a point where I no longer was allowed. I didn't allow myself either to see myself as a woman and a human that was a victim, because I've never been a victim. We've never been a victim.
Right.
And so I want this Me Too campaign to take women and men even deeper into love, because self-realization is love. As I said, we need to feel it again. We need to feel everything again. We need to embrace our feelings. We need to embrace and own our story. Because the magic, if I can say that word, is when we do that, it starts to the feelings, the trauma will be absorbed by the light, by love itself. And when we do that, we really start to love again. We really start to remember how powerful love is, and that's the only power.
Yes.
And I will just say this, that when I did that myself, I realized that my dad was not only my dad. My ex-husbands was not only my husbands. They were not only men. They was life itself.
Wow. So another way to say this, I think if I understand you, is you would like to see the Me Too connotation or movement go to a deeper level where there's a deeper love. And, I'm not sure how that happens, but it would make sense to me that for anyone who declares their trauma and speaks it, to find that deeper love, they would also have to see the victimizer in the same way. Just as you're saying about your father, your husbands, you saw them, they were life itself, and it's nothing to hold you back.
Exactly, because that's what I learned when I got cancer. I learned that if I didn't gave my cancer life, because it deserved life, it deserved respect, actually, because it was my wild nature. It was the divine, the power, the force of the divine feminine that had, in a deeper level, I had created this cancer because I needed, and I knew, one of the things that I knew, that I was back here on this planet, on this time, this wonderful, brutal, but beautiful time of awakening, to really learn how to love again, fully, to love like God. And if I didn't love my cancer, well, then the way I looked at the cancer, I would look at everything else at the same way. Life, my children, husbands or partners or whatever, I would see everything in the same way that I saw the cancer if I didn't embrace it, if I didn't love it.
Wow. So maybe an exercise for anybody would be to call up the thing that makes them the most uncomfortable, the event, the trauma, the situation that occurred to them in their life. Pull up the thing or the person that makes them feel the most uncomfortable. And to actually do what you're saying is to love and respect and honor, like that cancer or your husband or your father in these other cases. That seems like if you did that, like you did it with cancer, that would take care of anything lesser than. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it ended suffering, and it's the suffering. I mean, victims. When we are victims, we are extremely violent. Every victim are violent in one way or the other, and that's because of the suffering. And the suffering comes from that we reject what has happened. We reject and we judge what has been or what is happening. That doesn't mean, and I cannot stress this enough, that doesn't mean that I have moments. I cry easily. I'm such a crier, and I'm such emotional, and I can feel every feeling, but I'm not detached from the feelings.
Right.
I allow them. I'm completely open. And this total openness and acceptance is so radical that it ends the victim, the victim in me, and it ends the suffering. But I'm not detaching from it. I cannot stress this enough. Please don't detach. Don't absorb. No, observe. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Don't look at your feelings. Don't detach from them. Stay with them. Allow them. Feel it. Let it fill your entire body. Because we are so afraid of our feelings, and we are so afraid that we will then be stuck in it. And that is also when I'm coming back to this non-duality and all this, I call it bullshit, because that is also the old energy. It's everything is collapsing. Everything is in a way dying, because what we need to meet is our aliveness, and that is unconditional love, and that is an acceptance of everything that is our right here and now.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah.
And when you say, can you explain a little bit when you talk about the non-duality and the bullshit? Because I'm pretty sure I got what you're. No, I want to hear what you have to say, because I know it's.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have, again, first of all, I wanted to say that everything has been beautiful. Of course, the non-duality, the gurus, all of these things has been necessary, and it's been beautiful, and it's we needed it also. We needed in the darkest moments. We needed to have words from gurus, like we needed to have the words from Jesus or other gurus or masters that has walked on earth. So everything has been important, and everything is beautiful. But we also have to be aware of that a lot of people that talk about this non-duality and all these things, they are extremely inhuman.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Because when somebody is coming and talking, they are in pain, and they have experienced maybe a trauma that they cannot, it can feel unbearable. What I have witnessing is that many are talking about that observe your feelings, who is feeling this, all these things. And this is the extreme, and it's the absolutely opposite of what we are going in or what we have entered. And that is the new era of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the new era of love. Love does never say who is feeling this. Love is openness, it's total openness, it's space where it's allowing whatever to feel, because what we have experienced, all our feelings and all our experiences, all our traumas, whatever it's been, is there, first of all, when we allow it with its highest intelligence in the darkest feelings, in the darkest moments, or the darkest traumas. The highest intelligence is always there. And that will be revealed when we allow us to feel. And that is when we liberate ourselves, when we allow us to feel again.
Yeah.
When we allow Source to reveal the absolute truth.
So,
and we expand. Sorry.
No. So if I'm understanding what you're saying, if you're in a situation, or if you're, let's just say, as an example, an energetic, physical representation of the energetic example that you're giving. If I am a teacher or a guru or a yogi or a doctor or a practitioner, and somebody comes to me to tell me of their traumas, the best thing I can do for them, it sounds like, is to allow them to express themselves, and really just to shut the fuck up and listen to them, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just listen to them and allow them to speak their feelings, find their feelings, be their feelings, without any direction of what do you feel and who's actually feeling it, like you're saying, but actually allowing that person to be seen and heard and felt, most of all within themselves.
Yeah, because that is the essence of love, and it's so important and it's so powerful. You are, if someone is coming in and talking to you, telling you about this, what they have experienced, it can be a loss of a child, it can be a loss of a partner, it can be a loss of a job, or whatever. What the person is experiencing is that their life completely feel like it's collapsed. And what we need to do is to become, because we need to be humans. As I said before, that we are not here to be spiritual, to become more spiritual, because we are that. But we need to embrace our humanity, and we have never done that. Never in that way we will do now, that we are being forced in a way to do. So when you're together with that person and you know that, you feel that, you know who you are, you can then give the person the insight, the understanding that the person also need the truth of who they are, but at the same time allow it to be to because when we do that, then the person, not only you, but also the person that are talking to you, both are expanding. Yeah. You will see more of the truth that you are. We are together in our senses. We are sensitive. So we are together in our sensitivity. And that again is also the power of the divine feminine. The new era, we need to feel, because the only way we will be guided now in the new era is through our feelings and spontaneity.
Yeah.
And if we are in our mind, it will not work. Because we developed the mind in Atlantean era, and we have created over and over again more or less the same since then. So we are ending this now. Yeah, I cannot stress enough how important this is, because this is the new energy that is really being there for each other, to wake up, to understand that, okay, your trauma was a part of what your evolution, it was a part of that person's awakening, but it also is a part of that person's transformation of the old. And we, sorry if I jump a little bit, but I just
no, you're good. I'm listening. Keep going. Keep going.
We are here now to end all our lifetimes in this lifetime, but we are not leaving our body. We are keeping our body. So what we are doing is that we are going through a death process, but we are not going home. We are not leaving this physical realm. We are not leaving our physical body. So we are experiencing the same what we would have experienced if we was on the so-called other side.
Right.
On the other side, we are also healing. We also are giving time to look back or look into the life that we had, to learn, to understand deeper, all these things. But we are doing the same now in this physical realm. That's why it's also so painful. It can be extremely painful. A lot of people feel that they are going crazy. They're feeling loss of their identities. They're feeling that they're losing themselves. They're feeling that they're losing a connection to the planet or to the earth or to people. And I also have to say, again, forgive me for jumping, but I also have to say that stop thinking about that we have to ground ourselves. We are learning to live like multidimensional being that we are. We need to embrace things, what is happening. I'm coming back to that again. Be open. Be completely, totally open to what arises in you. If you feel nervous a moment, because we can do that. We can feel that we don't like the same food anymore. We don't like the same places. We don't like the same people. The sleep pattern is changing. We can be extremely dizzy and afraid and think that we are seriously ill. And I will at the same time say, go to a doctor. But all of this is because of this massive awakening. So be in our feelings and allow them, like I did with my cancer. Because as I said, suffering is created from being our mind and separate from our feelings. But our feelings, when are allowed, we expand. We allow more source in a way to integrate.
I love what you said, because first of all, the remark about the multidimensionality, there's so much emphasis put on our other aspects. Oh my God, I was Jesus' son, he talked to me, or I was an archangel, or I talked to Kuan Yin, or I was Cleopatra in a past life. And so much of, or I can move a table across the room without touching it, telekinesis or whatever. But you said the word humanity. You said, what is humanity? I mean, put it this way. If we all came into these incarnations, or even this life, and it was an absolute, and there was absolutely no death. In other words, we knew that there was no death. We knew that the body would not expire no matter what we did. I mean, think about how that would change everything. Yeah. Think about how that would change our perspective on being a human being. We've spent so much time going, get me out of here. I don't want to be here. I'm in this pain and all this stuff. And to your point, it's certainly easier to understand today than it was 5 years ago, but the pain is the prize. The pain is the teacher, the suffering's the teacher. It's actually, if you can think about it, in the higher dimensions, where can you go to experience these extremes? And I guess what I'm saying is that your emphasis is on the humanity that we are, that we have actually tried to separate ourselves from, or actually try to get away from, or actually looked at it as the smallest part of us. And the way to do that is to become aligned with your feelings.
Yeah.
That's what
Sorry?
you're saying. That's what, to me, what you were saying is.
Yeah, because it's the only, absolutely, this planet, this dimension is the most powerful place in the entire eternity, in the entire universe. Whatever is created is the most powerful, and it's the most beautiful place. And that's what I saw in one of my near-death experiences, that the human life are extremely sacred. It is so soaked in light and in love, for love itself. We are here to experience everything for love itself. And that's why I'm saying that I cannot stress now to start to really say yes to love again, like never before. And I know also for sure that when we women take, if I can say, take our power back, not that it's never been taken away from us, but I'm just a lack of other words. Take it back. When we really start to love ourselves, when we really start to go deep inside ourselves, and see that we have never been a victim. We have been extremely powerful beings, that agreed to experience this this human dimension, to love like God again.
Yeah.
We would love men like never before.
Yeah.
And then men will also be, not that it's our responsibility, that's not what I'm saying. But the point is that when we start to love again, well, there's nothing more to fear. We don't have to fear each other then. So what is back? What are we sitting with? Yeah, we're sitting with love again.
Yeah.
The beauty, the wild beauty, the oneness, even though we are all one. Please understand that we also are unique and also so-called separated from the oneness. You have always been Todd and will always be Todd. Not that you will have the same name, but you have always been Todd and you will always be that. Who you are has always been and will always be.
Yeah.
What you are here to do is what you was a part of, what you was a part of this bigger ascension then, that is going on the planet, and we need to learn to love fully our humanity, the human in ourselves. And to do that, I'm coming back, we need to feel again, feel it all. No resistance, no running away, no meditating away, not at all. We have to say yes. And it is so powerful because we are so expanding and revealing our aliveness like never before.
Yeah, let me just put it in your words. Can I put it in your words?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to say the fucking war is over.
Oh, I love that so much. Yes.
Yeah. That's something.
The fucking war is over.
The fucking war is over. You know, you can be victim for a lifetime. You can be victim for a moment.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say there is no victim, but it's another thing to actually live from that consciousness. I'm not saying I can do it, and I'm not saying any of us are doing it now, but it sure sounds to me like that's where we're at, or that's available to us.
Yeah, and
nobody's.
We cannot do that through our mind, through our will. You cannot decide that, okay, now I want to love everything that is, and then feel that you really hate that neighbor. That is not possible. You have to understand that love has no separation, and do not judge your feelings. So if you hate your neighbor, I don't know if you hate your neighbor, but if you do, then say, okay, I really hate this person. And it's okay. Feel it, because then there's no separation, there's no judging, and it will dissolve. And it's okay. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel rage. It's okay to feel jealousy. It's okay. The point is, when we do not go deeper and saying, okay, what is this in me that reject what is here and now? What kind of wounds or unhealed feelings that I never allowed before? Then you really start to become really human. Then you really, then you really start.
I like that. Let yourself feel that, right? Because it's funny, because what we end up doing is we actually verbalize. We'll say, I'm not jealous, or I don't mislike that person, dislike that person. I don't hate that person. So we distance ourselves. And I love the analogy that you use about the cancer, because that was life itself. How can you damn life itself?
Exactly. And we have done that in every aspect of our lives. We have done that because we have pushed things away. And that is also what I realized many years ago when I left my my last husband, that was a psychopath. And I took my daughters and we moved back to the place that I was born. And I realized, because I had so many things that was unhealed in me, I wasn't aware of that at all, that I had so many wounds or traumas or pain or things that I was afraid of, because I always was this woman that was angry, and I fixed everything by myself, and I fixed it immediately, either if it was renovate a house by myself or whatever it was. So I did that, believing that I also was this good mom, because I didn't become like my mom. Something that I decided before I moved away from home, that I will never give my children the childhood that I had. But I had to realize that because of my wounds, my reactions, my decisions, becoming this powerful woman that was able to make everything by myself, do everything by myself, fix everything by myself, I was exhausted. I was not capable of seeing my children. So when we moved back to this place that I've grown up in, there was a weekend that I really understood fully that for me to be able to embrace myself as a mom, as a woman, I needed to sit down and talk to my children, to my daughters. So I sat down and I said, this weekend, we're gonna talk together. You're gonna tell me how it's been for you to grow up with me. I will not cry. I will not be offended. I will not defend myself. I will not be angry. I will listen. And you're going to tell me absolutely everything. Because if I don't do that, I do not deserve to call myself a mom. Because telling my children that I am their mother, that I love them, was not true, because I hurt them. So for me to be capable of taking full responsibility also for that, I needed to listen to them.
So you needed to listen to them, not so much to how am I put this? Not to get caught up in the story, but to allow them to express themselves, to maybe show you something about yourself, or at least for you to stand in front of the fire in allowance. Because I'm sure it wasn't a pretty a real happy thing the whole time, right?
No, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of laughter, but there was a intimacy, it was a closeness, if that's the right word, that we have never had before, because they was allowed to cry, they was allowed to be completely, totally honest with me. For the first time in my life, I really become that mom that took responsibility, because I said, I need to really understand where I myself haven't seen, where I have been stuck in my fear, in my anger, in my rage. I needed to tell them this so they could be liberated, so they don't grow up and become adult women and mothers themselves, carry the responsibility of my wounds that I didn't take because I believed that I was this okay mom or this good mom or whatever I believe. And that's what we need. We need to come into that. We need to reveal everything, and we need to become transparent, because that is where love is. That's where honesty is. That's where vulnerability is. And vulnerability is the most powerful way of loving and being open.
Wow. So what was that experience like for you? I mean, how did it make you feel when it was over?
It made me feel my daughter said that everything changed from that weekend. Everything changed in them and everything changed in me. I mean, I was not afraid anymore to be open and vulnerable also to them without being the child, because I was the child. I was the grown-up child because I carried so much unhealed trauma in me. So I was the child, but I was blind to that because I was this woman that always had a focus on my children to give them the best. I was working hard. I started to started my own company. I was a single mom, so I've been this powerful woman that always fixed everything by myself. But behind that, I was so afraid of being wrong. I was so shamed in my childhood by being told that I had no value. So I covered that also by being this woman that was capable of doing everything. But I couldn't lie to my children, because children, they see through you anyway. And that's why I say that I work with adult people. I do not work with children, but I work for children, because as long as we have our unhealed wounds, we are using our children as emotional garbage containers. We demand them, without saying it directly, to be our parents, to give us what we was not given by our parents. We demand respect. We demand them to carry our dreams into the world, to be this what can I say, this medals on our jacket, to not reveal our masks or our facade, all these things. So we are doing something that are extremely violent to our children when we are not taking full responsibility to heal our own wounds.
Wow. So it's a there's so many complications, so many complications in these explanations and books and lectures and processes and modalities and downloads and transmissions and all that
Forget
stuff.
about them.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and I love talking to you, because it is all it is all simple. It's not easy. It's not easy for us because we've had these old patterns and behaviors and all that stuff. But I love what you're saying, because if you could take one thing away, how can I go out in this complicated situation out here and conduct my life, would be to to be unafraid and to take each person, each opportunity, and just be absolutely transparent. I mean, and what I mean by that is to say, not to be afraid to say, you know, Ingerid, how do I come across, or you know, what kind of friend am I to you, or what kind of a partner am I to you? Because like you said, you had this idea that you were this great mother, but you went in and asked the children to tell you what they saw. It doesn't mean you agreed, and it doesn't mean that they were right. It just means that you were unafraid of that darkness, right? That your objective was to heal yourself, and in order to do that, you needed to gather that firsthand information that maybe you were blinded to, which is extraordinary.
Yeah, but I will also say the power and the magic is when they told me absolutely how it's been.
Mm-hmm.
And there was at some few points that I felt that, well, this doesn't sounds right, but I didn't say it. I said yes. I said yes to everything. First of all, it was important for them. I did this for them first of all. So saying, because this is also so important, when someone is saying something to you and you feel that, oh, this is not true.
Right.
If you stop that and saying, okay, I hear what you say, and you at the same time listen and feel that, okay, I have a reaction in me.
Right.
I understand that this reaction is telling me that there's something here that I maybe before haven't seen because I pushed it away, or because I've been ashamed of it, because I don't dare to be vulnerable and to be open. We have learned as children, if we are vulnerable, then our parents have power over us. So we do the same in all our relationships, also to our children. The vulnerability, as I said, is the most powerful healing space we can be in. When we say yes. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. When we say yes to it, that is when you open up fully, completely to unconditional love, to what is rising in you, to that you allowing yourself to also ask the question, what is going on in me? What is happening in me? Because instant when you do that, you don't have the energy or the time to send it back to the person. As you said, fuck the war. This is fucking the war. Yeah. This is you owning your story, your feelings, and at the same time, you have space and you have love. Then, after a while, it can take a time, it can be brutal, it can be painful, but slowly after a while, you will start to realize that you are freedom itself. Yeah. You're free. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if someone says, fuck you, because you understand, yeah, okay, I understand that has life too.
Yes.
And at the same time, I also have to say, it doesn't mean that you become a doormat. It doesn't mean that you allow people to really run over you, all these things. But the point is that you have taken the focus back to yourself, and you're standing in unconditional love to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to think that, oh, I have to love that person too. No. You love yourself unconditional, and the person is included. But at the same time, you let that other person experience its own, what can I say, karma?
Well, yeah, life.
Life. Yeah,
karma's
life.
Karma's the living too. It's, you know, I mean.
Yeah, it's life. It's life itself.
So was you know, that's like saying that the trauma, the cancer, the relationship, the abuse, the this, the that, the this, the that was all, like you said, that's life itself. How can you damn it? I love what you say though, because because this is new territory, and we think it's going to be this real complicated, profound, dynamic process or presentation or book or whatever, or religion or whatever. But it's a simple one foot in front of the other, one person at a time, and being open and willing to hear what they have to say, even if it's total bullshit, you still accept it. And you also look at yourself, like you said, and you say, okay, well, why do I feel like I need to say something? Or why do I feel like why does it make me feel uncomfortable? It's almost like so you're transparent with your words. You tell each other what it is, and then you shut up. Then you just take it into yourself and you just shut up.
Yeah. Because when you have space for you, when you love yourself unconditionally, you love your feelings, you love that, okay, oh, this was really painful hearing this, but you love that spontaneous feeling that's coming up. You love, maybe you just accept, as I said, this radical acceptance. Then you have already said yes to love. And love is simplicity, because love is God. So God is simplicity, and simplicity is the most powerful. It's powerful. It's power. It's life force itself that brings to you, or reveal, if I can say it like that, the power that you are. Yeah. You don't need to go into fight. You can listen and listen, and when you, as I said, when you have a reaction, you understand it. Okay, I have a right in that feeling. I have some work to do with this, and that's exactly what I did when I got the cancer.
Yeah,
I had some work to do. Yeah, and that was to really embrace what was going on in me, embrace every feeling, knowing, as I said, that they held the highest intelligence, which is the truth, which is God, that revealed my own freedom, my own eternal being, or yeah.
I was just looking at some of the comments. Morgan asked, how old were you when you did this with your children? I'm sorry. How old were they? I'm sorry. How old were they?
Oh, how old they was? Oh, let me think. This was in 2000. So they was 10 and 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Let me see if there's anything else here. I really like your writing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh,
I like it when you
makes me happy.
I like it when you cuss and you get fiery.
But I like you when you say that to me, because I can't hold back. I really can't. And
you know what's amazing is there's something about, there's a force. It's one thing for a person, let's just talk women for a minute, women that like maybe curse all the time, and it doesn't have the same, but there's something about the power of a woman when she throws an F-bomb, I don't hear it too much, but when I do, I listen because I know she's got something to say. I want to read this. I want to read this last paragraph. Well, it's about a paragraph and a half. It's from your site, IngeridEzhno.com, which I'll put up in a minute. So I like the last two paragraphs, and it's called "I am a wild woman, a spiritual conscious woman, a true diva." When I read this, I read it, and I could actually, in most of these cases, just simply change out the word woman and man. I could put soul. I mean, I look at it And I respect the fact that you're writing it from your perspective, and I think it's a very powerful message and necessary message for women. But I also think it could apply to any soul. So I like this part here, and never have I been given the permission to tolerate anything that was not authentic. My untamed nature is the highest level of wild woman. It is raw, authentic, and it is rising in women all over the world. I do not fit into anyone's comfort zone, and I never did. It takes a true burning desire for freedom to come into my house. It takes a wilder grace to enter my kingdom. My true self resides here. This is not a feminist fantasy bullshit which is cancerous to the true and mightier intelligence of awakened women that have been standing in the fire for eons of dark nights and burned away every layer of lies from the collective consciousness. I have earned my own eternal kingdom because I have dived into the deepest darkness. I have loved unconditionally the most painful deaths. I have been slayed open and tore apart every layer of false protections and forced into a nakedness where total transparency is my raw, open, divine power. If you listen deep enough, you can hear my evolution before beginning of time. My vulnerability is my integrity and authentic womanness, and I am proud of it. Yes, you can hurt me. Yes, I can feel insecure, afraid, cry, and also feel it all from the human's collective consciousness. But oh, this power and light is the most beautiful oneness of creation itself. There is no aspect of my splendor that will not be represented here. I have been burnt and burned out. I have died and came alive. I am whole and have always been, and I am back again. My nose is thrown out like a wrecking ball on fire for breaking down the wall of lies around. My vision is stronger than ever before and not watered down with small insecurities put on by old adopted patriarchal concepts from other women that wants me to come back to the screaming crows in their unmet dreams of an aliveness dressed as dead men to control their wild nature. Whew. My deepening by my power of the divine masculine is lifting my divine feminine power into a future where my unconditional commitment to all that I am is written in gold. Very powerful.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. All I did was read it. You wrote it.
Thank you so much for reading it.
No, it's beautiful. Your stuff is very powerful. Like I said, it applies to me. It does. To me, it applies to some of it. You can't, like that last sentence, but it applies to a soul. It's the I am soul. That's what I call it. Soulogy. Yeah. The I am soul.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's change it. Let's do hashtag I am a fucking soul. How about that?
I would love that. I so love this.
Well,
but everything that I write about myself and what you read is exactly what men needs also to discover, and more men have discovered that in themselves. It's our aliveness. It's the love that we are. And so of course this is the way, this is what can I say, this is the way I love life or nothing, if I can say it like that. So this is the way I love, and this is who we all are. What I write is how I experience this, but we all experience this aliveness, the God that we are, in different ways. But this is love. It's love, and it's the aliveness. I'm repeating myself here, and this is what I will say if this is the end of our interview.
It's a conversation.
If I can say it like that, I'm dropping a bomb again. But non-duality people don't know how to love this way. That's what I'm saying.
Non-duality people don't. No, that's what you said, right? Non-duality people don't know how to love this way.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the duality, well, yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying that the duality is a necessary ingredient. The accepting of the contrast, the accepting of
what I meant to say as if you are when I'm saying you, I'm meaning I embrace those people, if I can say it like that, because it sounds like I'm separating, but I'm not doing, and I'm not judging. That's why I said earlier that it is important that we embrace everything, because everything is love, and it's beautiful.
Like you said, it's life itself.
Yeah,
everything
is life.
The cancer
itself.
was life itself. How could you?
Absolutely.
The cancer was life itself. So if we can look at it, we've all, well, most of us have had some type of, we could even say non-personal trauma, like that you couldn't blame on anybody, misfortune or whatever. But if we can look at it that we can certainly look at any person the same way.
Yeah. Because what I meant to say is that when people talk about that are this non-duality and detached from your feelings and who is feeling this, that's what I meant, that those people don't know how to love, because they have avoided the darkness of the divine, the power of the divine feminine. And so we all have learned to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because the darkness, our sensuality, our sensitivity, our abilities to see and feel and whatever abilities, like being a medium or everything, to include everything, to dive deep into our darkness, because I had to do that. I had to do that when I got cancer. I had to open up for the cancer and really allow the cancer to lay everything bare on the table. And I had to say yes to it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about, how to really love. We have to love again like never before. We have to really understand what it means to love like God, like who we really are. And we are life itself.
Yeah. There are no exceptions.
No,
there's nothing's left out. It's all or nothing. This is well, it's true. It's all or nothing. We can't say we accept the universe except for this 1% over here.
Exactly.
We can't even say it about the 1%, the Illuminati, the Cabal, the Pope, the Vatican. We can't say it about the worst victimizer that's ever lived. We can't say it about anything or anyone.
No, we can't, because it's life itself, and we have agreed to experience everything, all the contrasts. And this is the only way we embrace things, and the only way that we can also liberate the old energy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is on the screen, I believe. Is it on? Let's see. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, my blog, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because here it is. Yeah, I just looked at my phone, and this is really cool. So I looked at the phone, and the show was 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. So, so this is right. Yeah.
Wonderful, beautiful. I raised my case.
Right. That's right. As we say in Texas, fucking A, man. Okay. So
I love it.
Well, I only talk this way when I'm with you and a few other people. So this is Ingerid's website. Very fascinating, very much like her. It's very, very deep. It's also got a lot of different things in here. You can look at the links up here, home, Ingerid exclusive, woman, cancer, children, interior, and then there's a contact. There's a lot of good stuff here. You guys reach out to her. Let's support our brothers and sisters in this year of expansion, sovereignty, collaboration, and co-creation. And I look forward to, and by the way, this is Ingerid Ezhno.com. And you can find that link in the comments after the show. So it's been a beautiful experience. I really loved it. I loved dropping a few F-bombs with you. It was fucking great, man. But
I loved it too. I really did. And I so love this talking to you and to all, to have the opportunity again, and to all the people that are listening. And I got a lot of people connecting with me, contacting me. after the first interview, and it makes me so glad. I really have to admit, it makes me so glad that we can really get the opportunity to, what can I say, spread the words that are true love and freedom and truth.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So I would imagine hopefully you'll get some calls of this time around. And we'll look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. We've got
absolutely more than happy to do that.
Yeah, would love to. And don't worry about if you can't get the video on. That's okay. I understand it. It's okay. If you can work it out, you can work it out. If you can't, you can't. It's a solstice today. It's a powerful day. It was a great way to start the day for me. We've got Katie Indicrow, our sister, in 40 minutes, and Monica D. Binware a little later this afternoon. So invite everybody to come to those shows. Happy solstice, everybody. Thank you, Ingrid, for everything. Thank you for the F-bombs, and thank you for the wisdom and the heart and the courage and everything that you exude for everybody.
Thank you so much again. Right back to you, Todd, and have a wonderful day, because I know it's daytime in your world.
Yeah.
And this is the evening for me. So thank you so much again. It really makes me happy to be on your show.
We enjoy it. It's our pleasure and our honor.
Take care. And I also just want to say thank you to everybody that is listening to this and writing to me.
Yeah. We're all part of it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You take care. Have a good rest tonight.
Yeah, you too. And give Morgan a hug from me.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.